everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedy Warrior on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Today we're going to be talking about Instant Influencer, which was James Charles's beauty influencer based competition show. It was on YouTube. I mean, it still is. I'm saying was because the season finale just wrapped. So we're going to talk about the entire season, what I think about the contestants, the judges, the show holistically, the diversity on the show, and basically everything I thought. And this video is in collaboration with my friend amandabb. So go over to her channel and watch her reaction and her review of the show. I love her commentary, so go check her out too.
Hey y'all, wouldn't be a Raggedy Warrior video without editing Lauren coming in. So basically, in this last clip that I ended up choosing, because I take a lot of clips, I just feel like I didn't talk about Amanda more. And when you serve your country like this, you need to be honored. First of all, she makes all these sacrifices to watch all these shows that y'all ask her to watch and tells you everything wrong with them. So you need to go watch her Everything Wrong With series. I love those. She did Victorious. She did like all the Nick shows. She did Little Fires Everywhere. So if you've been watching that, you need to go look at that. Also, she's so brave, okay? She talks about the real issues. I just feel like she makes commentary that says what every black woman is thinking, and that's not easy, especially in this industry, because people don't like black women who speak out. So you need to watch her videos, you need to go support her, and yeah, go watch her collaboration with this video. And now we're gonna get into the show. But also, she can do makeup. She like to downplay and say, oh, don't post on Instagram, but we met in a makeup group chat. So girl, I know you can beat a face. Let's get into the show.
Alright, so let's get into the show holistically first. First of all, I think that was a great idea and a great concept to find the next big influencer. It's definitely a job that a lot of young people are trying to get into now. So I think that it was right on time, and I like the concept. I do wish that they had a few more challenges based off of being an influencer and not so makeup heavy, but this is the first season, so there's a lot of room for growth. So every thing that I'm saying is bad. Hopefully they just grow it. It's the first season, and I think they did a pretty good job for the first season. Yeah, I watched a lot of reviews because, research before I made this video, and a lot of people have been saying the same thing. There was a lot of emphasis on makeup, but they could have really taken the extra step to really encompass the influencer lifestyle and the tasks that we have to do as daily influencers. Also, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is diversity or lack thereof. So there are 3 men and 3 women on the show, and there's 6 contestants, obviously, and I want to say that 4 of them are of color. But I don't want to just assume that, because there is a such thing as people who are white passing. However, speaking of white passing, that is the problem. Yes, technically there is diversity. There's gender diversity, which I think was a big priority of James's, obviously because he's a beauty boy, and that's one thing that he advocates for. So I think that the fact that there's 3 women and 3 men was definitely great. Hopefully we get a non-binary artist, but these are just my wishes for the next season. Problem was that all of them were lighter than, I think, either Gabriel or Ashley. Gabriel Ashley were the darkest people on the show, and they're not that much darker than me. Just because they have different backgrounds, that's cool, but if there's nobody who is darker than me or Ashley or Gabriel, that is a problem. That is a problem. So I hope that next season they bring on somebody who is of a deeper complexion, a dark-skinned woman, dark-skinned man, dark-skinned non-binary artist. That'd be fantastic. Moving on from that, let's get into the episodes. Every episode is broken into a compact challenge and then a main challenge. So the first compact challenge when they first got there was to show up in a look that represented themselves. So this is the first time that we get to see the artist, and I do think that it was a way that the judges were trying to figure out their competition. It was a great way to figure out your competition. So you have, I'm just gonna start with the male. So you have Benny, who said that they did a Japanese scenery type look, a full face look, and they said it was based off their mother's and father's travels, I think. But when you watch his elimination video, not his elimination video, but you watch his video, his review of the first episode, he was saying some of it was edited out, so I guess he kind of have to take that at face value. Then you have Gabriel, who did a look based off of his love for the earth. You have Indigo, who did a full mask art piece thing. It was fantastic. Kaylin, who said that she went out of her comfort zone and she did a colorful type of sparkly look on her face and neck. It was yeah. You have Brittany, who went a little bit more simplistic and got a lot of flack for this, and she did a half cut crease with a liner and some bubbles. And then you have Ashley, who won the challenge and did the ink blot look. And she did a look based off of ink blot. You just really have to see it. So, and her explanation was chef's kiss. That's one thing on this show that's really important, making sure that you explain the backstory. And yeah, that kind of made or broke a lot of people and a lot of contestants in these challenges. Anyways, Ashley won. When you win the compact challenge, you get an advantage. The next challenge was making a commercial, a product release video, which is basically like a small commercial. The first challenge, you can kind of see what type of artist everybody is. You got to know a little bit about them. They got very vulnerable. Indigo was telling how like his father got deported in the beginning of the show. So we already kind of know the contestants, but this challenge right here is what really shows us the trajectory of how their contestants are about to go. Like, yeah. So first of all, we have Kaylin, who decides to get a Real Technique sponge and do like 5 or 6 multiple ways that you can use the sponge, which I thought was the best idea. And as soon as he assigned the idea, that was actually the thing that was going through my head. I was like, get one product and show how to use it in multiple ways, because people love to buy multi-use products. So I'm glad she did that and she won. Then you have Ashley, who did like a really professional video. This is the beginning of when the judges start saying Ashley has no personality and rah rah rah, which kind of got on my nerves, and I'll explain why. And then you have Brittany, who decided that she was going to use a highlighter. Now here's where Brittany messed up. First of all, Brittany already had messed up when she went a simplistic route, just because her look wasn't bad, but when you put it against the others, it was definitely out of place. So they already kind of had their eye on Brittany. Brittany decided that she was going to end her video 1 hour before the time was up. They only gave them 3 hours to film this video, edit it, and all of that. And she ended with an hour left because she was basically trying to impress the judges. And that was something that came up a lot in this show. People were obviously trying to impress the judges, and it was just like, it either really went well or it really went bad every single time. I was like, that's a bad idea. And the judges were like, that was a bad idea because your video isn't perfect. So that was kind of awkward. Then you have Gabriel. Gabriel decided to pick James's palette, which I thought was a terrible idea. You definitely need a lot of time when it comes to an eyeshadow palette. So you have to swatch it. You have to show the type of look that you're going to do. You have to edit it. It's a lot of work. Ashley picked a mascara. Easy. And then the look also wasn't that cohesive. James Charles is really big into eyeshadow. Like, we already know his struggles with his base makeup, but his eyeshadow is like his thing. So if you're going to do an eyeshadow look with his palette, you better make sure it's blended, and it wasn't. So yeah, Indigo's video is very entertaining, but it also seemed authentic. Speaking of authentic, Benny's video, the beauty community loves to confuse personality and forced African American vernacular English. They're not the same. They're literally not the same. And I feel like Benny was trying to be what he thought they wanted to see. And I was just like, there's more ways to have personality than like the stereotypical. It was feeling very forced. Because then when he's talking to the judges, he's talking like normal. And then he got in front of the camera, he's like, and I'm like, wait a minute. Brittany went home first, and I think that really what sealed Brittany was the fact that she took an hour, like she finished an hour early. I think she would have taken that hour and really finished her commercial very nicely. I think that Gabriel would have went home because his editing also was not all there, and his look wasn't all there, and he used the James Charles palette. So they're really neck and neck, and I think the fact that she took an hour off really put her behind. But the reason why I explained episode 1 in so much detail is because that really shows you the characters, like they stay on that same path since episode 1. The elimination on this show is very, 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 very different. Basically what they do, they go to their own filming rooms, they get a call from James Charles. If you get a call, basically you're safe, and then he goes in and does a sign off with the person who is going home. So this was very awkward in the first video because Brittany was a little bit more emotional than the other contestants. People were saying that they didn't like it, but I feel like if you're going to choose an unconventional way to eliminate somebody, like the sign off also is going to be unconventional. And it was awkward the first time, but after that, and I do want to add, Brittany had a lot going on in her personal life. I watched her video. I watched all her videos, but yeah, she was basically saying like she had a lot going on in her personal life, so there was a lot going on for her. So I think that for Brittany, they should have gave her a second to like recollect herself. And I hope that like everything's going well with her family now. Episode 2, the first compact challenge was doing your makeup in 30 minutes for a red carpet event, which I feel like is pretty accurate. I think her name is Shine Glow. She was saying that they should have taken a picture afterwards and edited it to get the whole influencer part, because that's a really reoccurring theme, is that the challenges are really good, but if they just go a little bit extra to include the influencing part, like the potential, okay? It's 30 minutes, like you can kind of already imagine what type of looks they did. Ashley won the challenge again. That is a reoccurring theme. One thing that I will say that annoyed me about this show was the amount of excuses and back talk to the judges. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I just hate excuses. But like every time a judge would say something, there was always a pushback of oh well, I did this because, or oh this happened because, or this and that, and it's just like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. The guest judge on this episode, the first guest judge was Paris Hilton, not much to talk about. Second guest judge was Trixie Mattel. They had like a couple hours to do drag basically, and this was a really fun challenge. So Ashley won the challenge, of course, so she gets a little time with Trixie Mattel. And one of my favorite things about Ashley is that she listens. And on this show, there's not a lot of listening. I just told you, they have a lot of excuses. So when you talk as fast as somebody else is talking, nobody's listening. But Ashley listened. Trixie was like, hey, maybe you should do something with color, like here's how you should put the wig on top of your braids, and like all these sort of things, and Ashley took that into consideration. Then the wig fiasco, which wasn't a fiasco at all. Everybody just treats Benny like he is a toddler. That probably sounds mean until I say me and Benny are the same age, and it was just really weird how the judges will like speak to him, and how everybody on Twitter is like, baby. They really victimized him with this whole wig thing. So, reminder, this is a competition. Indigo said, I want the pink wig. They're going to get wigs because they're doing drag. And he said, I want the pink wig. And Benny was like, oh my god, I want the pink wig too. I have an idea for the pink wig. Y'all both want the wig. Somebody has to get there first. Indigo ran there, got the wig first. And yeah, and people were like, oh, well, spoiler alert, he goes home this episode, Indigo. They're like, he deserved to go home because he stole the wig. You can't steal something from somebody who don't own it. What? Especially if you know somebody else wants the wig, you better speed on over there and get that wig. That was ridiculous, and I don't like how they spun that. It's a competition. I didn't think that was gonna be that big of a deal, but the show didn't really have that much drama, so I guess people were just like vying at the little bit of drama that it did have. So you have Benny, whose look I feel like was very cluttered. Very, very cluttered. And then you have Indigo, whose eyebrow, like, what I'm saying is that this episode really could have been neck and neck depending on how you look at it. This was a challenge for everybody involved, because drag is not an easy art. Like, it just really isn't. So it was very interesting to watch them struggle through this. That sounds devilish, but it was. So the person who won the challenge was Ashley, and they go really, 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 really hard on Ashley in critiques, and I think it's because they don't have like a lot of obvious things to point out about her, but they go way harder on her than everybody else in the show. And I noticed that every single episode, it was kind of annoying, and I guess it's because like her artistry, in terms of artistry alone, is like, there's a clear distinction, because she keeps winning all these challenges and she's really artistic and she's really talented. So I guess they're like, we don't have anything to say that's obvious, so let's start nitpicking at her. But it was kind of annoying. She did this avatar look. She drew edges on. She put a wig over her braids, which if you ever had braids, that's not easy. She really took what Trixie Mattel told her. She won, even though Norvina was complaining about it. But Norvina went hard on this show, okay? She went hard judging, and I appreciate that. I always love tough love. Kaylin tried her best, okay? Kaylin fought for this look because she was struggling, but she fought for this look. I think she did a really good job. You have Gabriel, who drew eyes on his face, but they weren't crisp. And that was something that was reoccurring with Gabriel's artistry. Was the first look with the James Charles palette was unblended. Then the second one, he did a circle, but when you open your eye, you couldn't see it. And also it wasn't a perfect circle. And then he did the drag look with the eyeballs, but it was very messy and not crisp. So keep that in mind. Then you have Indigo, who did like a, I think it was kawaii look, and he had the band-aid on his nose, and he got the pink wig. So the wig was not even that cute. That is the whole cute. It was giving Party City, but anyways, his eyebrows were tilted the wrong way. And as soon as he did it, I was like, no. And Benny's look, I feel like Benny's look was very cluttered. I'm just gonna say it. Very cluttered. It had glitter and flowers. He put a lot of work into it, you can see that. But I feel like it was very cluttered. Indigo went home. I don't think that was right. I think Gabriel should have went home. Only because Gabriel, if you look at this holistically, which is how I feel like judges should do eliminations when it comes to these types of shows. When you look at it holistically, Gabriel has messed up in 2 compact challenges and a real challenge, and in the first challenge he didn't follow instructions, and more cumulative mistakes than Indigo. Indigo made a mistake with this one look but has been pretty strong throughout the competition, so I didn't feel like that was a fair elimination. Also, I feel like it would have been, in terms of watching the show, and I understand that like these type of shows are all politics, so watching the show wise, I feel like he would have been a better fit to stay, because I feel like there would have been more of a competitive energy with the top 4 being Indigo, Ashley, Benny, and Caitlyn. Gabriel was kind of struggling throughout the season, so it was kind of like we already knew who was about to go home out of the 4. I also really respect Indigo. When I was watching his review, or like after his elimination, he was agreeing with the judges and actually listening to what they're saying. And once you watch the show, you'll realize like they were really not, like nobody was listening. But he was like, yeah, no, they were absolutely right. And I remember in somebody else's elimination video, I'm not gonna say who, but in somebody else's elimination video, it was just like they were disagreeing with the judges still. And it's like, you already went home. Like, episode 3 is when I kind of got a little like, what the hell is going on over here? Their compact challenge was an apology video, which I feel like was in pretty poor taste on James's part. Like, this was not a smart move on James's part, because there's a certain demographic of YouTubers who are consistently making apology videos because they're consistently being problematic. James has fallen into that category multiple times. I don't think that it was very smart on his end to do a apology challenge and kind of make a mockery out of it. Like, it has been said that you're not genuine in your apologies, and you have said like, no, I genuinely am apologizing, but then you do something that's very ingenuine like this. I don't feel like this should have been a challenge either, because you have people taking a different length. First of all, Benny is trying hard per usual, putting tears in his eyes and really making a joke out of it. And then you have, you know, Gabriel, who's sounding really sincere, and then you have Ashley, who's just genuinely saying it, and then Caitlyn didn't get to finish her video, so she's not in this. But it's very weird. It wasn't, I don't know if it's supposed to be a joke or if it was supposed to be a joke. If it was supposed to be a joke, that's weird. Like, why would you make a joke out of that? I do appreciate, when I first saw the trailer, I knew it was going to be apology videos, and I was like, this is in poor taste. But I do appreciate that they were smaller offenses. Like, they weren't something as big as racism or misogyny or something super big. They could have done like an email challenge, responding to emails. They could have done Instagram live challenge, where somebody's in their live and they're being very rude to them and they have to figure out how to handle it. I don't know, I'm just making this up on top of my head. But there's a lot of different things they could have done in that challenge. And an apology video, I feel like it was in poor taste. And of course, Benny won, which made it even worse because he's the person who made the most of a joke out of it. And I just feel like apology videos are not a joking matter, especially with James's past and the past of most of the large influencers in the beauty community. It just seems like, oh, so this is a joke to y'all. Like, we all apologize for racism. Like, that's a joke to y'all. For the actual challenge, they had to do a collaboration video. There was 4 bigger influencers that come in to collaborate, and as Benny's advantage, don't look at my nose and fingers. As Benny's advantage, he got to choose who went with what, who went with who. So there's Nima Tang, Bretman Rock, Nikita Dragon, and Louis Castro. Who I didn't hear of Louis Castro before, but I knew of all the other 3. So Benny is like being really kind and putting everybody who he thinks would be a good match with each other, instead of like the competitive thing to do, which would have been like, I'm gonna put you with who I think you won't work with. But I feel like the 4 contestants and the 4 collaborators, like, they would have been good either way. The lineups went as so: Louis Castro and Caitlyn, and they basically did like a hangout type of video. And I think that this was one of the other good challenges in terms of influencing, because they had to make a video with a collaboration, and influencing is a lot of collaborations, and then they also had to put a thumbnail and a title and say like if it's clickable or not. So I feel like that was really good in terms of including the whole influencer side of things. This was one of the better challenges. Then you have Ashley and Nikita. I don't like Nikita. So she does things that don't necessarily align with what I do. However, I feel like I could respect her in this episode, and I feel like her and Ashley were a good match, and that she was, like she played her role. Nikita did what had to be done in this episode. Ashley is very, 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 very smart when it comes to concepts. That's another thing I love about her. Her and Kaylin, when it comes to concepts, like they can conceptualize, which is a big part of being a makeup artist and being an influencer. A lot of people ask me like, where do you get your inspiration from? Where do you come up with these things? And sometimes it just like comes in your head. Like you can just see it's in Ashley's head. Like that was a smart idea. Her and Nikita basically did like a strip down where they got vulnerable with each other, opposed to everybody else who basically like just went the makeup route. That was a good video concept. That was something that people would want to watch. Like when you're an influencer, there's people who follow my Instagram who don't do makeup, like people who subscribe to my YouTube who don't do makeup. So just to have something that was a little bit outside the box, I was like, wow, they're mine. Then you have Gabriel and Nima, and like I said before, Gabriel should have went home the episode before this episode, and you can see that here, because if he would have just went home instead of Indigo, like that could have saved him a lot of embarrassment, because they were really going hard on him in this episode. His video didn't have any sound for a lot of it, and there wasn't really a lot of talking. There wasn't a lot of interaction with Nima. He was basically doing her makeup and he was trying to do a Zodiac type of look. But once again, just like the first episode, I don't think that he thought about the amount of time that he had. He did like a very, very intricate look, and the look was beautiful, but the video was not. Benny and Bretman, it's forced. It's so forced. It's so forced. Like, I just feel like Benny was trying to fit whatever mold he thought people wanted to see, and you saw that with the Bretman and Benny video, especially with the big personality like Bretman, Leo King. It's like you try to one-up Bretman, but like Bretman's that person you can't really one-up, so it was forced. Now, this episode, here's the biggest bone I have to pick with this episode. There was no winner, and I think the reason why there wasn't a winner is because Ashley would have won again. And I'm not saying that because like I really liked Ashley's video, but the judges really like Ashley's video too. They've been asking her to be vulnerable, which I also feel like, I don't know, I just feel a little bit of microaggression when it comes to Ashley and how they were speaking to her, and how like everything was like she's not loud enough, like she's not vulnerable enough, she's not showing enough personality. But then you have Benny, who is literally like forcing it and forcing this African American vernacular English, like just forcing it, and then they're like, we love it. And it's just like, I would rather take Ashley, who is more calm and reserved and just being herself and doing her artistry, than somebody who is forcing it that's not exactly seeming authentic or genuine. Can't she just be herself? Like, I understand that Ashley needed to show a little bit of personality because that's what influencing is. However, I feel like they were pushing Ashley into a direction that was inauthentic. Yeah, I feel like we didn't have a winner this challenge because Ashley would have won again. They love the vulnerability in her video because they've been asking for it the whole season. They love the concept, and I feel like they didn't want Ashley to win again because that would have been what, her third win? But that's not her fault. Moving on to the finale. This is a long video, but I'm trying to go over the whole season with y'all. The last episode, there was no compact challenge, and basically they had to do a trend. Now this episode here, Benny! This is what I mean. Like, James said, Benny, this look is not a good idea. And Benny was like, you just don't get it. You just don't understand me. I'm misunderstood. And did the look anyway. It was like, I think I'm gonna win, but you didn't listen to the judge. Kaylin, I think Kaylin had a great concept, even though the concept's been done before. I think it was a good concept, but the execution wasn't exactly there. But I think that this was a very entertaining episode to watch. Kaylin did a concept where she did half of her face was things that people think about her, and then the other half were things that she actually is. But there wasn't enough of a contrast, like there wasn't enough of a day and night to make it like, ooh, like I really understand what's going on here. She did flowers in one eye and glitter on one eye, but if you really just look at it from afar, it just looks like a lot of pretty things on your eyes. It was also funny that her and Ashley both wrote words on their face, and as somebody who's tried to write words on their face before, that takes forever, and they really underestimated the amount of time. So I feel like if she just had more time to get those words, like if she just had a little bit more time. That was Kaylin's thing, really her confidence and her time, and like her confidence really like grew and it blossomed throughout the season, so that was beautiful to see. But her time management, James said, was a problem, which I don't think she had the worst time management. I just feel like if Kaylin just had an extra hour on every challenge to really flesh out the ideas, like it was there. And she was such a genuine person, like her personality was there. Like what Ashley was lacking in personality, they say, Kaylin had, and what Kaylin was lacking artistry Ashley had. So I really, from the beginning, first episode, I was like, it's gonna be between these two. I didn't even think of anybody else. I was like, it's gonna be between these two. I hope they like work together in the future. Ashley decided to do a off-white look, which is like, Ashley's looks are so hard to explain, but it was just like she did half her face all blocked off in white, and then did a minimalistic approach. So where it says jawline, she would draw like jawline and cheek and brow instead of like actually doing the brow. And then her photo shoot was like, you could just see her wheels turn. Like once again, she's very conceptually smart. So while like the other contestants just went in and grabbed a prop, she was like, I think we could take some tape and do all these different things. And yeah, so basically her look was an off-white look. Benny decided to do a bunny rabbit. Yeah. The whole challenge was to create a trend, okay? So Kaylin, her trend was the like what people see you as and what you actually are. And I feel like her, as far as trendiness and how viral it would go and how many people would recreate it, because that's really what trends are, people recreating your stuff and you going viral. I think that she had a good idea. I think that definitely could have been trendy. I've definitely seen it like trend before. That's not even being shady, but I've seen like something like a trend before. So I think that it was a fantastic idea, and I like where she was going with it. And she had a backstory. I personally hate when people cry in competitions, because I'm like, yeah, girl. But like, you could just see how genuinely like she meant it. Ashley, yeah, she had like a big concept. I think that her look was definitely trendy. Like, I was gonna try to recreate it today, but I was not up for the challenge, okay? I thought about it though. I was like, okay, we're gonna just start, and then once I did the wing, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna fit orange in here right now. But it's definitely something trendy. Like, on a night where I have a lot of time, I could definitely see myself doing the look. I can see it going viral first because people like off-white, and then I can also see it going viral because people are recreating it. Benny's look was not trendy. Benny's look was a bunny. Like, I'm really trying to figure out how to explain the trend part, but when it boils down to it, Benny's look was a bunny. It was very Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande, which is exactly what James told him why not to do it, because literally when you look at it, all you're gonna see is that, so it's not really giving you much wiggle room to make it your own. He had duct taped bunny rabbits like up here, like, I mean, not bunny rabbits, bunny ears like up here, and cotton balls on his face. I think Benny was really lacking the cohesiveness in concept that Ashley and Kaylin have so strongly. So it's kind of hard to put them up against each other, because Ashley and Kaylin, the entire competition, have shown that they are very conceptually there. Like, they know how to put together a concept from start to finish and explain it. And Benny was basically like, I wanted to do this look, so I'm going to do this look, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I think I mentioned before, like, this competition was very important to learn how to explain yourself, because it's part of being an influencer, and the look was kind of hard to explain. He said it was about liberation and freedom, so you have a little bit of explanation, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, you couldn't see a deeper meaning. You could just see a bunny rabbit. Also, it wasn't constructed that well. Like, there was duct tape visible, and then like just cotton balls. As far as trendiness, maybe during Halloween. Like, I think it was more of a Halloween transformation type of trend. I think Benny had a blast. Like, I think Benny was having fun. So they didn't do like the whole elimination thing in this episode at all. Basically, they just said, Ashley, you won, and then everybody just moved to the side. I tried to keep this to the end who won, because just in case somebody like didn't want to know the spoiler or whatever. But Ashley won. There's some people saying that Benny was robbed. What? And then there's also people saying that Kaylin was robbed, and I'm like, in terms of the look, they did a photo shoot, which once again was kind of they were inching towards the influencer side of things, but they did a photo shoot. Like, they're judging based off the photo. And Kaylin does have the personality, and I think that her page has grown, but I think her page is gonna grow immensely, because she's a very likable person. Like, she's genuinely kind, and I love kind people. Like, she's very likable. However, if we're looking at the artistry and like the pictures, there's a different level. I think that it is pretty obvious that the judges of the show don't judge holistically, like when they in terms of elimination. They just send people home that did bad in that exact challenge. So, for example, Indigo went home after the drag one, and then Gabriel went home after the video one. Like, they weren't thinking, well, you have done this, this, and this throughout the competition. They're just like, you did the worst today. Benny did not do that well that day. Like, he did not do that well in the finale. His look didn't all come together, and he basically not disobeyed, but went against James's advice, which was not smart because James is the judge. But holistically, if you want to look at it that way, Ashley kept winning challenges. She held her own. She was really never in the bottom. Like, I never thought, oh my god, Ashley might go home today. So I think that shows a lot. So I think that Ashley absolutely deserved to win. Those are basically my thoughts on the show. I thought I was gonna have more opinions at the end, but I kind of like snuck them in while I was explaining. Stop confusing forced AAVE and personality. Like, I'm not saying you can't use words that come from black people. That's not the point. But you can just tell some things are just forced. Like, just speak how you want to speak and stop being what you think everybody else wants you to be, because it wasn't just Benny. Like, there's a lot of moments that I'm like, you don't even talk like that. Why are you talking like that now? I think James was a good host. He wasn't partial towards anybody. He did everything a host needs to do. Like, as far as a judge, he's pretty objective, but he also showed like warm moments with the contestants. I think that was great. I like the lineup of guest judges. There's a lot of proximity to racists in this show. Like, a lot of people who are close to racists. But then again, that's just the beauty community, so whatever. I think Mario was a good addition. He also was very tough love. But you can talk how you want to when you got the credentials to back it up, okay? And that's how I feel about Norvina and Mario. They're probably the hardest critics. And you had Lipstick Nick. She was on there one episode. She was pretty good. And Paris Hilton, which is just like star factor. Those are basically all my thoughts when it comes to Instant Influencer. I do hope that they have a second season, and I hope that they take like some of the things that I've said into consideration in terms of diversity and not favoritism, but just being objective, and also diversity. Also just like incorporating more of the influencer part, and I have a feeling they will. I think that in James's maturation, because we have seen him for a long time since he was a teenager, I think that he's gotten better in terms of handling criticism. So I feel like the second season will be better, and that he is listening to people. That's just my hope and my hypothesis. You should watch it. It's only 4 episodes, and the episode is pretty short. Congratulations to Ashley. My girl came through an 8. Okay, she 8. Okay, and yeah, that's all I have to say about this show. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Give this video a like if you agreed, or even if you disagreed. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments, and I want to hear y'all opinions, because there wasn't enough tweets for my liking. I didn't see enough Twitter conversations about this. I really wanted to see more opinions, but we can do that down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, you can follow me at Raggedy Royal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, for more of my looks and all that stuff. If you want to know how I color my lashes, there's a YouTube video on that. Bye.